Hi everybody, hope you're well. Today I thought we would make, my brain's gone again. I thought we would make like a 4 quarts, but we would trap it in some colour. So I'm just going to make a pendant and then have a band of 4 quarts in it. I've been kind of going over my old videos and thinking about combining a few of the different techniques to make different things, if that makes sense to you. Anyway, I'll shut up. All we're going to need is I'm going to use some black Cernit #1, and I've just got some Cernit translucent. So we're going to make a small block of the 4 quarts stuff. I'm going to put a bit of mica in. I've just got this lovely, it's like a whitey silvery pearl colour. I don't want to put a lot in, just a little bit. So we'll chop up some translucent. I'll go and condition some black, and we'll get stuck in. Just a couple of cutters or whatever you want to use. I might even use a mould, but I'll go and get some conditioned and get it ready, and I'll see you all in a second. Hi guys, so we're all conditioned now. I've put my black through on a 2. I'm just going to pop that to one side for a moment, and I've done my translucent, and all I'm going to do with this is just stack it, just to make my pieces a little bit thicker, smooth it so I don't think there's any air trapped. And then we're just going to chop this up as you would if you were doing you know, the usual thing. And of course we know it can get a bit sticky, so I'm just going to pop some cuts into it, and then I'm just going to give it a little light dusting with some mica powder, and hopefully then that will help to keep the pieces separated a little bit. Let me find a little brush. This one will do. So I'm just going to rub a little bit of mica powder onto the surface of each of these pieces. Not a massive amount, guys, just a light dusting. I'll just get that out of the way, and I'll just pick these up and flip them. And then we'll start chopping through again. And I'll just break them up a little bit. Toss them in that mica a little bit. Oh, I seem to have picked a bit of foil up from somewhere. Give them another tumble just to break some of the pieces up if it needs it. Oh, I don't know where that bit of foil's come from. If it was stuck to my blade, I'll just move them bits out of the way. It may have been stuck to my blade. Oh, I'm just going to break some of these other pieces up. They're a bit big. And I might just, I know it will make it a bit stickier, but just to get that mica a bit further dispersed on my pieces. Another bit of foil. Where on earth is that foil coming from? Maybe it's on my hands, don't know where that's come from. It will make it a bit sticky, I know, but I am just going to put a tiny squirt of alcohol on, just to disperse that mica a little bit more, because I don't want too much in there. I was going to add some alcohol ink, white alcohol ink, but I think the mica on its own will just give me that nice fracture without me having to worry about it. And I think I might just add now a little bit more mica. And just give that another tumble. Now I know everything's a bit sticky. Give that a tumble. And that should be plenty to get the fractured look that I want. And we'll just pop this to one side a second just to air off a little bit. Although it's not too bad because this is an older pack now of translucent. I might just actually chop that a little bit more, guys. I don't want my pieces to be too big. There we go. Right, I'm just gonna pop this onto a piece of paper and just pop it to one side. While I clean up, I'll just let that rest a second. I'll have a little clean up and I'll be back in a second. Okay guys, this has rested a little bit, and I'm just gonna get it to come together. And just get it into a block. A few people have said they've had a bit of an issue sometimes. Oh, still more foil. I don't know where that's coming from. A bit of an issue with some pieces falling to bits, and I just think it's just it's not been consolidated enough. Like, you really do need to get this to be tight, into a nice tight block. And all I'm going to do in a second is just give it a wipe over with a little bit of alcohol, just to get that surface bit of mica off. In fact, I'll keep it on my paper, then I'm not getting mica everywhere. And this is just a wet wipe that I've just used to tidy up with, and I'm just going to wipe the excess mica off the surface. I'll probably do this a couple of times while I'm working with it, because I want the mica to be the grain and not on the surface. There, I think I've got most of the surface stuff off. I'll just pop that to one side while I make sure there's no mica everywhere. Right, now what I'm going to do is, I did mean to put a bit of a texture on the back of this. I need enough. This is on a 2 setting, and I want to double it over. So what I'm going to do is just make sure that I've got enough for my cutter, and I'm just going to double this. I thought I'd got, what is going, I don't know where this foil's coming from. I'm picking it up from somewhere, aren't I? And I'll just get another Fimo texture sheet here, guys. It's a wood grain one. And I'm just going to pop my piece onto it, because it'll texture the back for me while I burnish the front. I'll just get a scrap of paper, and I'm just going to burnish this, get that surface really, really smooth. And I say this all the time, guys, but seriously, if you really, really burnish your piece, then when it's once it's baked, you know, you don't really have to do a lot of sanding then. Preparation is, you know, 99% of what I'm doing. Still see a bit of a mark on that. Let's have a look. I think there might be a bit of a mark on that piece of paper. Just let me get a clean one. How's that looking? Okay, I think I seem to have a bit of mica I've picked up from somewhere. Hey, it's not my day today, is it? Just let me pop this on and give it a little smooth with my roller if I can find it. There it is. I'm just going to give it a smooth with my roller. See if I can get that little mark out. There, that's better. Okay, so I've got the piece I want to use, and hopefully I'll have a decent pattern on the back. It's not too bad. Okay, so there's me black. There's something weird going on there. I don't know if it's... oh, I think I've trapped a bubble. That's what's doing it. Must have trapped a bubble in my layer. Let me just give that a cut and a burnish. Let me get my little tool. That's my big one. Where is me? There it is. I'll just give it a little burnish across where that cut is. It should get that bubble out then. Still see it a little bit. Where is it? There. Sorry guys, just want to make sure that that line's gone and that bubble's gone. There we go, that's better. Okay, I'll just pick that up and pop it to one side. Right, our block. So I'm going to cut a slither off, then I know I haven't got any mica on that front bit. I'm just going to make sure there's no bubbles in the bit I want to use, and I need it to stretch across my how shall I do it? Yeah, maybe I should have cut a slice that way. Just let me change the shape of this a bit, guys. If I can get a longer piece, I won't have to stretch it too much then. I'll just cut myself a decent chunk off, and that'll be the bit I want to use. So I'll grab some lolly sticks, and I think 3 is about right, although I can burnish it later. 1, 2, oh, maybe 2. We'll do 2. And I'm just going to roll this out. There we go. And give that top a wipe in case there's any loose mica or anything popping out at the surface. Let's pop these sticks to one side. Got a bit of fluff there, but that'll get cut off. Right, I'll give this a burnish. And I just want a nice, let's see, I only need it to be that wide. So I'll just cut those 2 pieces off for now. And I want it, I don't know how wide I want it, but I think that'll be a great size piece to go in. I'll pick my black up, just clean my blade, then I don't pick mica up on it. Now I'm going to pop my black either side. Let's just move that down a bit, then I don't catch that edge by accident. Okay, now let's pop this on. I'm just going to roll it first, just to make sure that those are all the same height. And I've picked a bit of foil. What is going on with this foil? I don't know where it is, where I keep picking it up from. I'll just roll this a sec, guys, and then I'll burnish it in a second. Okay, let's put this down and give this a good burnish. In fact, I'm going to bring my Lolly sticks in again, so I can just see a little bit of a ridge where the black is actually higher than the translucent. So I'm just going to give it a roll to help it. And I seem to be having some issues with bubbles in this. I don't know what's going on today. Can you see these bubbles that have just all of a sudden popped up? And I was so careful when I was conditioning it, so that I wouldn't get any bubbles in. I think it's just one of those days today's, guys. One of those days. But still, we shan't worry. Let's just give them a little burnish to get them bubbles out. That's a pretty big bubble strapped in there. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Just make sure those marks are out. Right, let's give it a little roll, and then I'll just burnish it as well to be on the safe side, although that looks pretty okay. Let's just give it a burnish. There, I think that is now okay. Okay, let's go for it before anything else happens. Right, I'm just gonna cut this a little bit off center, I think, so that the line isn't dead central. Maybe here. So that's our first pendant. and I have got a tiny bit of mica there, but I'm going to not worry about that. I'm going to just get it sanded when it comes out to the oven. So I'll just pop this onto a bit of paper. Just make sure it's flat. I was going to dome it, but I think it's better if I don't. And just straighten those edges up. It seems to have gone a bit distorted. There we go. One square pendant. And then I was going to try and put some into a triangle mould that seems to be covered in Doris fluff. I'm worried about it distorting a bit too much, but oh, I can see cat fluff. Do you know, these cats have got a lot to answer for, haven't they? Right. I'll leave those two bits and have a go with this bit and try and not trap any air in. Right, I think that'll be okay, she says. Now I don't know how deep that mould is. Maybe I'll just do it in this mould, then it won't deform as much. Okay. I'm just going to press my mould down to get the shape roughly. Can you see? I know I've got the shape roughly now. So I can cut this excess off. That tip off. Okay, and I think I'll just do a band across the bottom. So I'll just cut that there and separate those two pieces. And I don't think these are going to be thick enough, so I'll have to cut myself another slice of this off. I could do that being a bit straighter. There we go. Pop that back against it. And let's give it a roll or a burnish, one or the other. Where's my thing? Oh yeah. That'll do for that. And I'm just going to lift this up. Now this may distort my line a little bit, guys, but I'm not too worried. Let's just get the main shape in. And then I can worry about the rest later. Let's cut some of this excess off. Yeah, it's gone a little bit thinner on one side than the other, but I think it'll just look like a black stone with a band running through it. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, does it? Let's give that a roll to get that back flattened out. And again, I've got a bit of a fingerprint of mica on there, but I can sand that off, so I'm not going to be overly concerned about it, as long as my back's pretty smooth. That should be okay. Okay, let's bring our other pendant back, and we'll pop this one at the side of it. There we go. So I shall pop these in the oven, and I'll be back shortly once they are baked. See you in a minute. Hi guys, these are at the oven. I've given them a quick polish. To be honest, this surface isn't the best. I seem to have a bit of a divot in it. I don't know if it just got distorted. So I'm not going to finish this piece off, guys, because it's not as nicely finished as I would like. But still, I do like how it's turned out. I think this is my favourite actually. It looks like a pebble, doesn't it? It looks pretty cool with the quartz band. You probably can't pick it up too much on the camera. Maybe you can more on this one, but it looks pretty cool. A little bit different. I made this out the scraps. Just did 2 lines this time. These haven't really had a full polish. I just give them a quick buff to show you. They need a bit more sanding, to be fair, but I made that and a couple of earrings to go with it, just to give you a bit more of an idea what you could do. So there we go, guys. Just some little bits. Like I say, I'm not going to finish them off because they need more finishing. That I'm going to have to sand that right back to get that little divot out there, which is a shame. And this one, again, the surface isn't brilliant. So they need a really good sanding, to be honest. But once they're done, they should look okay. I will take a couple of photos when I'm done. And I shall see you all in the next video. Bye guys.